What's up, everyone? So we currently have 7,500 steps, and we're just gonna complete this. Should take around maybe 20-25 minutes. Just woke up trying to complete this shit here. So what's up, guys? My name's Chicks. So I currently work as a nurse in the ICU, and I just want to talk about health for a moment. You don't know how many people I've seen just not give a shit about their health. Like, they think just because they go to the hospital, they would be able to fix any damage that they do to their health, their body. It doesn't really work like that. You're like putting a band-aid on an unfixable tire. Eventually it'll give, and you won't be able to do anything about that. And this is coming from someone who grew up in a family who didn't really give a shit about their health. I grew up in a family where all we cared about was food and nothing else. Like, we didn't care about how we looked, how we felt. We just cared about our pleasure. And just to satisfy every craving that we had. Especially growing up in the Philippines, most people there don't know about proper dieting unless you were really into fitness and nutrition and all that stuff. I wish I started when I was younger, but I was always self-conscious. I couldn't really go to the gym if I was alone. I was intimidated by people, and I always wanted to go with a friend, with a classmate. And growing up, I realized I should have went by myself. It didn't matter. No one really cares about you that way. When you have a goal and you want to achieve it, what other people think shouldn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's your life, and you're responsible for what you do with it. One of the few things you can do to start is what I'm doing here. Just get moving, get your steps in. You don't even need to do cardio. This is one of my mistakes when I first started taking my health seriously. I thought I needed to push my heart to the limit, to the point where it was beating uncontrollably, where I felt I was gonna pass out. Yes, cardio is good for you, but you don't need it to be healthy. Just doing this every single day without fail is enough. And quite ironic coming from someone who didn't care about health, going to be involved in healthcare. In some way, going into healthcare made me self-conscious. It opened my eyes to what people were doing wrong. And in return, I believe that saved my life. Because 2 to 3 years ago, for someone as short as me, I was around 220 pounds. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't do simple daily activities without catching my breath. That's pretty hard to do that's a pretty hard situation to be in when you're taking care of other people as well. And it wasn't long until I decided I wanted to change. I didn't want to deal with this anymore. So if you're watching this video, relating in some way, this is your sign to start. Don't start tomorrow, don't start next week, start now. When you decide on something, make sure you do it. Don't keep changing your mind based on how you feel. The secret is, it doesn't matter what you feel. Whether you don't feel like doing it or not, you still do it. Every single day you try to be better, at least a tiny bit, even 1% better. And you'll see, in a year, 2 years, you're a totally different person. You won't even recognize your old self. It's like you're living a second life. You're in a second body. And after experiencing this transformation, I don't ever want to go back. I want to stay healthy for the rest of my life. Yes, it's good to enjoy food now and then, but you have to learn control. And the most common excuse I hear from people is, if I wanted to lose weight, I can do it anytime I can. And the truth is, sometimes you'll never want to do it. And they wait for the time where they need to do it. But by that time, it's too late. Like a family member of mine. They didn't really care about exercise, good sleep, or nutrition. And going into their early 50s, they had to deal with health problems like cancer, injuries, and other health complications. Before, I used to think 50 was old. But seeing other people online, especially people in their 80s and 90s, And seeing people who take care of themselves, 50 is so young. You can live for 30, 40, 50 more years. But my family members' mindset was different. They always say you only live once. That's why they try to take advantage of every kind of pleasure in life without a care in the world. And I'm not judging them. I think it's just how they were raised, how they were influenced. But if you think you're healthy right now without you putting in the effort in your exercise, in your nutrition, in your sleep, I don't think you're really healthy. You could be better. You could do more. Okay, we're currently at 8,500. Almost there. And after losing 75 pounds, I started to enjoy life more. When I was fat, I always used to think to myself, I think 70 is enough, 70 is fine. I could die at 70. Because I see all these old people with their bodies breaking down. But then after losing all that weight and seeing these other people focus on their health and longevity, honestly, I wanted to live forever. 70 is too young. You can live into your 80s, 90s, keep enjoying life. Just as long as you take care of your health and take your health seriously. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you do have to sacrifice something. Spoiler alert, food. But after spending years destroying my body, enjoying food, I think I've had enough. Like, you've tasted it before. Why do you need to keep doing it over and over and over again, knowing that it's destroying you? Since we're talking about self-destructive substances, food is just one of them when used the wrong way. Alcohol, smoking, drugs, all of these things have addictive components. Like, you ever realize if you do any of these things, you do it for long enough, it's hard to stop. And when you do try to stop, you get sick or you feel these symptoms. That's not random. You're having withdrawal symptoms. Your body becomes dependent on it. So if you're on the younger side of life and you're currently not dealing with health problems right now, I'm telling you, start now. You won't regret it. You'll thank me later. You'll be thankful you watched this video. Because most people don't have these person or these things that motivates them, inspires them. They just live the same lives on repeat. And they don't know what they're doing is wrong or what they're doing is harming them. Oh, and another thing, when you focus on your health, everything else gets better. I'm not bullshitting you. Like, first you start with your health, you start feeling better, looking better. People will look at you different. People will start to respect you more. They care about what you think more, your opinion. They get more insecure around you just because you look different. In some sick way, when you're fat or out of shape, people think they're better than you when they're really not. It will also improve your mood. Like, you can wear any clothes that you want. You know that anything you wear, you look good. You feel comfortable. I used to wear extra large before. And 2 years later, the smallest size I've ever wore was medium. And now I'm wearing small. And it's still kind of loose on me. Especially trying to be lean, trying to be in a lower body fat percentage. I mean, yeah, that's the downside. You feel small, but it's just body dysmorphia. Yeah, taking care of your health, looking better, you become more attractive. People won't admit it, but I see other people staring at me, and to be honest, I'm still not used to it. The attention still makes me uncomfortable. In some way, I still feel like my fat self, even though I don't look like that anymore. Like before, I would get this judgmental looks, but now it's different. Like they have a softer stare, gaze whenever they look at me, as if it's a gaze of admiration or respect. And to be honest, I've never felt that before, and it's still foreign to me. Okay, 9,300, almost there. Almost there. I mean, you may not agree with my point of view, that's totally fine. Let's agree to disagree. But just to remind you, I've been on both sides. And this is so much better. Oh, since it's also right in front of me, lifting weights. I used to be scared of lifting weights. I had this misconception before, if you lift weights, you'll get too big. You look like my family calls it a bullfrog. Or you have that big traps, big back. But after doing obsessive research, you won't build muscle that fast. The people who get big that fast, they're usually on something. Steroids, drugs. When you're losing fat, you also want to lift weights so you get that physique that you're looking for. And the underrated thing about getting fit, you don't run out of breath. I remember the times where I was back in Massachusetts, where I was 200 plus pounds, feeling like shit after eating ungodly amount of food. The next day, I can't even get out of bed without struggling. I couldn't even breathe. Every single thing I did, I was catching my breath. That was embarrassing. Never want to go through that again. And this is not a temporary change. This is a mindset. This is a lifestyle. This is something you want to be permanent, to do forever, a habit. I also want to talk about sleep. I never took sleep seriously until the past few years. Like, people like to brag about getting 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep because they say they work hard, they do a lot. What they don't realize is they're accelerating their death. And just to give some context, my mom is around 55 years old, and my grandmother just turned 77 today. My mom gets around 5 hours, and my grandmother gets her full 8 hours. But ironically, my grandmother has a sharper mind. My mom spent her whole life being sleep deprived. And it finally took a toll in her body. And my grandmother, I'm not gonna say she's perfectly healthy, like she's overweight, but her mind is clear, strong, and I believe that has to do with sleep. And I also felt that as well. When I used to get 3 to 5 hours of sleep, my brain was so foggy I couldn't even think straight. And that's very dangerous, especially in my line of work. Like, how do you expect to save a life when you don't get good sleep? When you don't take care of yourself? And when I finally started getting my 7 to 9 hours of sleep, like, I have coworkers and family members asking me, "Did you even work? You look fresh." Like, even after 12 hours of work, I still have energy for days. Because you need to let your body recover. Not just your body, your mind, your soul. Okay, 9,900. You have 100 more. Almost there. But yeah, this is just a yapping video. But at the same time, if I can have one person change their life because of this, it's worth it. Speaking of other benefits, it can improve your relationships, your financial life. You get more opportunities. You tend to skip the line out of everyone else just because of how you look, how you present yourself. Some people just don't care. And they can do that. They can do them, but that's not how I want to live life. Okay. Okay, 10,000 steps there. Thank you for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. And if you want to see more content like this, subscribe and see you next time.